Hello, and welcome back to Biblical Hot Topics. Today, our topic is entitled, How Can Wisdom Come from Fear? And from fear come reverence and boldness. Today, our topic will come out of the book of Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. Ecclesiastes is not found in the regular Bible as we have here in the western part of the world. It is in the Apocrypha. So in order to follow me with this video, pull out your Apocryphers and you can follow me with that. In launching this video, let's take a look at who and what wisdom is. Wisdom is a creation from the Most High Yahuwah. She was created before all things and is the understanding and prudence from everlasting to everlasting. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 verse 5 says, "The word of Elohim, the Most High, is the foundation of wisdom." Listen carefully. "And her ways are everlasting commandments." Wisdom is the root of the commandments that the people of God must follow. Let's move on. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 verse 8 says, "There is one wise and greatly to be feared, Yahuwah, sitting up on his throne." This verse is giving reverence to the Most High, honorable God. The next verse we will read here is verse 9. And it says, "He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works." And poured her out upon all his works. And that is why humans and animals are different. That is why humans or man and angels are different. The Most High God poured her out upon all his works, according to the gifts that he wanted to give each of his creation. Let's move on. Verse 10 says, "She," talking about wisdom, "is with all flesh according to his gift." And this is why we, man, and some of us will say human, I would prefer man. But this is why, some of us are so-called more intellectual than others. Because the Most High God has poured wisdom out upon us according to his gift to us. And is according to the motives of our heart. Let's move on. "And he has given her to them that love him." So, is there anyone out there, viewers, my brothers and sisters, is there anyone out there who desire wisdom? Fall in love with the Most High, Yahuwah. Fall in love with him. Because he have a people that has been predestined. And to those people, he pour his love abundantly out on. These people are predestined. And because they are predestined, God knows our heart. He already knows who's going to seek him. He knows who's going to diligently seek him and who's not. So we are judged by our motives. Some of us are called and some of us are chosen. But the called has an opportunity, because everybody's not called or chosen. So take advantage of your opportunities. Let's move on. Wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Listen carefully. The quality of being wise. The soundness of an action or decision with regard to application of experience, knowledge, and good judgment. This is what wisdom is. Wisdom is also the body of knowledge and principles that develops within a specific society or period of time. According to Wikipedia, wisdom, sapience, and sagacity is the ability to think and act using knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insights. Wisdom is associated with attributes such as unbiased judgment, compassion, experimental self-knowledge, self-entrancement, non-attachment, listen, and virtues such as ethics and benevolence. And I will add to that meekness. These, in my opinion, from my findings, are the characteristics of wisdom. According to the biblical writings, there are two types of wisdom. There is godly wisdom and there is demonic wisdom. There is no middle fence or anything. Either you have godly wisdom or demonic wisdom. James chapter 3 verses 13 through 18 explains, and it says, with first a question, it says, who is wise and understanding among you? Listen. Let him show good conduct, that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. Verse 14. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. Be careful. You're selfish. You're self-centered. And do not boast against the truth. Because God, and I'm going to tell you something, wisdom is not partial to selfishness and self-centeredness. Let's move on. Verse 15 of James 3, says, this wisdom does not descend from above, but it is earthly. And this is just what I'm saying. Sensual and demonic. So if you are self-centered, always asking for money, me, how can I get this scam off? How can I make all this money to put in my pocket? And the Most High, Yahuwah, is not at the forefront of what you are doing. This is demonic wisdom. Let's move on. Verse 16 of James chapter 3 says, for where envy and self-seeking exists, confusion and every evil thing is there. For where envy and self-seeking exists, confusion in every evil thing is there. Self-explanatory. Verse 17 says, but the wisdom that is from above is first is pure, then is peaceful, is gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruit, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. So how can you make peace? Can you make peace every time you come on YouTube, you're asking for money? Something to prosper yourself instead of God? Is that making peace? Can you make peace when you pretend to be for a certain cause? Like, for instance, well, I'm black and I'm for the black people. But in actuality, you're for yourself. Better take a look at yourself, because the Most High God is taking a look at you. And again, the last part of the scripture says, now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. You don't make peace by deception and lies, selfishness. Let's move on. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, verse 11 says, the fear of Yahuwah is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. Let's take a look at the definitions, viewers, for honor, glory, and gladness. Now, I know a lot of you may say, okay, I understand what those words mean, but it is always good to go back and just refresh your vocabulary, to refresh your memory of words that you think you know. Because sometimes, we will think we know these words and we will come up with our own perception of these words. So let's take a look at the definitions here. Honor. Honor means high respect. It also means great esteem. Glory. Glory means high renown or honor won by noticeable achievements. A great pride or pleasure in something. That's glory. Gladness means a condition of supreme well-being and good spirits. Beatitude, blessedness, bleak, cheerfulness, felicity, happiness, joy, and joyfulness. The next scripture I will read here from Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 is on verse 12, and it says, the fear of Yahuwah makes a merry heart, listen, and gives joy and gladness and a long life. Is there anyone out there that's hoping for a long life? Let's move on. Verse 13 says, whoso fears Yahuwah, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. You hear that? And he shall find favor in the day of his death. So what that tells you, viewers, is all death is not the same. Some death is harsh, and some death is less harsh and humiliating. Let's move on. The next verse I will read here in Ecclesiastes 14 is Ecclesiastes 14. Okay, let's take a look at it. And it says, to fear Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. Listen carefully. And it was created with the faithful in the womb. Oh my God. This means this person in the womb was predestined or chosen before the foundation of the earth. Wow. I'm going to read it again. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, verse 14 says, listen carefully. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. God, the most high God of the universe and everything else, knew who was faithful to him. He knew who would be faithful to him. He knew the heart of the person in the womb. And he had already given this person wisdom. They were predestined. Let's move on. The next verse I will read here is verse 16, and it says, to fear Yahuwah is fullness of wisdom, and fills men with her fruit. To be filled with God's fullness, or the pleroma of Yahuwah, who is the Ruach of wisdom, listen carefully, means that God is controlling, influencing, and giving in a given moment, governing your feelings, your desires, your thoughts, your hope, your relationship, your words, your actions, your reactions, your calendar, your checkbooks, so on and so forth. And this is how you know that you are filled with God's fullness, or with his wisdom. He's at the forefront of all the things that you do in life that's relevant to you. The next verse I will read here is Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, 17. It says, she feels, talking about wisdom, all their houses with things desired. How many of you have prayed for things? And simply because you prayed, things fell into line and you was able to get the things that you desired. That's a sign that you was chosen before the foundation of the earth. That's a sign. Okay, now the rest of the scripture says, and a gardener with increase, meaning what you endeavor to do, you prosper. You prosper. So I would just read the verse one more time, just put it all together. And it says, Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, 17 says, she fills all their houses with things desired, and the gardener with her increase. Okay, again, the increase meaning what you endeavor to do, it prospers. The next verse I will read here is Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, verse 18, and it says, the fear of Yahuwah is the crown of wisdom, making shalom the perfect health and to flourish. Both which are gifts of Elohim. Listen carefully. Being healthy, viewers, and well is a gift from God. It's a gift from God. A lot of times we go to the doctor's office and he prescribes prescriptions and different stuff like that. But because you were someone that God favored or had chosen, he healed you from that illness, but you thought the doctor did it. You thought it was because of the doctor. I'm going to read this verse one more time. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, verse 18 says, the fear of Yahuwah is a crown of wisdom, making shalom the perfect health to flourish. The Most High Yahuwah gives us health as a gift. Okay, let me move on. Both which are the gifts of Elohim. and is enlarged, and it enlarges, our rejoicing that love him. You're going to be healed anyway. But you thought that you got healed because you went to the doctor. Mm-hmm. Healing comes from the Most High God, viewers. Sleep, rest. God give his beloved rest come from the Most High God. Health, my viewers, comes from the Most High God. Peace, true love, comes from the Most High God. Let's move on. Verse 19 says, wisdom raineth down skill. Listen, and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. This means, my viewers, skill and knowledge and understanding comes down from heaven. And people that know and understand this clings close to her. Clings close to her, meaning wisdom. As time go by and as you live your life and through your experiences, you understand where your health come from. You understand where your appearance of being strong and bold come from. It comes from heaven. And a lot of it comes through wisdom and other rocks of the Most High Yahuwah. The next verse I will read here is Ecclesiastes 1, verse 20, and it says, the root of wisdom is to fear Yahuwah, and the branches thereof is long life. Listen. This means the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of your walk with him. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of your walk with him. And when I say fear, I don't mean that you are so scared and you are so frightened that you're trembling at your knees and you're just so scared and you're trembling, okay? When I say fear, I mean reverence. When you reverence someone, you watch what you say. You watch what you do. You watch what you think. You become a better being because you reverence, in this instance, the Most High God. Let's move on. The results of this scripture that I just read here is a long life of good quality. Because you can have a long life of sickness, ill, hurting, misery. But in adhering to the Most High, Yahuwah, loving him, and asking and seeking for wisdom, he could give you a long, good life. The next verse we will take a look at here is Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, and we're going to look at verse 21, and it says, the fear of Yahuwah drives away sin. Listen carefully. And where it is present, it turneth away wrath. Meaning, where the fear of God is, wrath is removed, family. Where the fear of God is, his wrath is removed from you. So, let's take, for instance, sicknesses, viruses, or what have you. The fear of Yahuwah is reverence. There is power in reverencing the Most High God. And because you reverence him, those things will be removed from you. I'm going to read that scripture one more time because I said that, okay? The fear of Yahuwah drives away sin. And where it is present, it turns away wrath. The fear of God drives away sin and it turns away wrath. I'm not saying that every sickness is sickness unto death. I am not saying that every sickness is because it is result of your lifestyle. But what I am saying is when you reverence or fear the Most High Yahuwah, it drives sin away. You don't even want to sin. You don't even want to sin. You're okay just being by yourself. And in his presence is drive away the wrath of God. God won't even have wrath upon you. Everybody around you will be sick and they'll be dropping dead by the 10,000s. He won't even bring that wrath upon you. And that's all I'm saying. So let's move on. The next verse I will read here is verse 23. And verse 23 says, a patient man will tear for a time. And afterwards, joy shall spring up unto him. Now that is very self-explanatory, okay? So the next one here is Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 in verse 24. And it says, he will hide his word for a time. Listen carefully because this is very important. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, 24 says, he will hide his word for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom. Family and viewers, this scripture is indicative of our awakening. For almost 500 years, my people, God had hidden his word from us because of disobedience from our forefathers. And this is why it is so important to be obedient and not to be disobedient. Because when you are disobedient, not only do you suffer, but your offspring suffered. I have suffered in the line of my people for almost 500 years as a result of my forefathers. The wisdom of God was shut close to me because of the result of my forefathers. And this why, my people, you cannot think that you're doing something in darkness and that it will not come to the light. It will come to the light, and not only will it come to the light, your offsprings will suffer because of your pleasures, your unwanted pleasures and desires. I'm going to read that verse one more time, just for clarity. And it's Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 and verse 24. And it says, he will hide his word for a time. In my case, in your case, almost 500 years. And the lips of many shall declare his wisdom when he have awakened us. Now we declare his wisdom. But look at what we've gone through just because of disobedience, family. A lot of us is experiencing exactly what this scripture means. Let's move on. The next scripture I will read here is verse 27. And it says, for the fear of Yahuwah is wisdom and instruction. Listen carefully. And faith and meekness and faith and meekness are his desire. I'm going to say it again because we need to say it again because this is important. Okay. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 verse 27 says, for the fear of Yahuwah is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight. These are the things that he delight in. Faith and meekness. These are the things that will open you up to the promises and the secrets of God. Faith and meekness. Okay, let's move on. Now, this verse means the fear of Yahuwah, which is the reverence of him in wisdom. And with wisdom comes instructions. Viewers, you are fools if you think you can have heavenly wisdom without the instructions from the Most High God. This is impossible. You cannot have heavenly wisdom without the instructions of the Most High God. The last verse I will read here, and this verse will also conclude this video, is Ecclesiastes Chapter 1 and verse 30. And it says, Exalt not thyself lest thy fall. Listen carefully. And bring dishonor upon thy soul. You're going to fall and bring dishonor upon your soul. This is something we don't want. And so Elohim discovered thy secrets. He discovered that you was a liar. You was a thief. You know, you was selfish, self-centered. You know, you was a leader somehow, some kind of leader, and you misled people. He discovered all your secrets. And cast thy down in the midst of the congregation. Cast down in the place where you reside. Cast you down in the place where you are supposed to lead others. Because thy cometh not in truth to the fear of Yahuwah. You don't fear Yahuwah, but thy heart is full of deceit. And he cast you down in the congregation. Family and viewers, you do not want to be caught up in this particular position dead. You don't want to die in this particular situation. So I bid you, my people and my viewers, to hearken unto the words of Yahuwah and to live. Thank you for tuning in to Biblical Hot Topics. I am hoping that you will give me a thumbs up for this video, subscribe, and share so that others can be enlightened, edified, and intrigued by the things of God. Again, thank you for tuning in to Biblical Hot Topics. Shalom.